Okay, this is a vehicle extraction. I'd like to show you variations of things you can do, the pluses and minuses of why we do them. So this subject has been given lawful commands to exit the vehicle. He has refused. We're moving in that direction. I have a cover officer already in place. This is something you don't do alone. The subject has both hands on the steering wheel, which is ideal for me, so we're going to just take it from there. Part of it, everybody understands, it's pretty uniform across the board. I want to brush his face, and one hand goes over and one hand goes under. Now, two reasons we're doing that. Any weapon that this person's carrying is usually going to be around the waistline. The same waistline area is the console. This same waistline area is under the dash. So these are the areas here where most people are going to have some kind of weapon if there's a concealed weapon. So when I come across, I'm not just pushing his face to the side, I'm pushing it back into the seat. If his hands were to come loose at that point, bring your hands loose for a second, I'd have exactly where I want to be. In this case, he's just going to keep his hands on the steering wheel so I can show you the variations of techniques. So as I come across and I brush the face, I lean in and I push him into the seat. From here, I'm unlocking the seatbelt so it's loose. As soon as the seatbelt's done, this is the key aspect. This hand is going to roll his elbow down. Now, when I do this motion here, I want you to see I have this hand still on top. As I roll, it's going to break this grip. It's like a lock. Now, this hand rolls underneath. I continue with this. It's like a rope, and I bend. Most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to take both grips out. Now, from this position, I'm going to take him until both shoulders are parallel with the door. So the first one we did, we cleared. I told you hit the seatbelt. That first curl was the most important. Pull the arms in, other arm goes under, goes a little deeper. You curl again, that breaks the grips, turn them outside. And in this position, I use my body against a door jamb. I'm not hyperextending his elbow. I'm not hyperextending his shoulder. I have my body against the door jamb. I'm using my own body to turn. At this point, an assistant officer can come in and they're not inside the car. They're outside. They go ahead and take a 2-on-1 initially, and then here, as this officer pulls, this is where I deal with the seatbelt. Here I deal, arm drag, back, wrist weaves if need be, harness, whatever's necessary. So we're going to continue on with this, and I'm going to give you some other examples of what is available to you and why I don't prefer those. If I can get this arm free, the idea of then using this to pin it here and then for me to go inside the vehicle is obviously something that I don't like, because you shouldn't do this by yourself. Secondly, if he's stronger than me, he's going to pull me into the vehicle, and now I'm in here and my cover officer can't really do much to help me. I prefer, if you can, to put your own shoulder on the door jamb. This won't hurt you. Here you can get certain hyperextensions happening if he really resists. So for now, regardless of that, what I don't want is to get to this position where I feel like, okay, I got some sense of things. His shoulders aren't square with the door yet, and then the cover officer comes in to try to help, and now they go for the other arm to try to get it, and now they get pulled in. Pull her in. Now they're inside, I can't help, and it's a mess, and whoever's got cover out front can't do anything about it. So that's the other thing. I like to make sure the person's completely out. If this grip becomes a problem, and that's the grip that people usually attack, with this grip, there's many things you can do. When we started all this, it was about pulling. Oh, I don't Loctite this time. It was about pulling and yanking and trying to figure out how to do this. The idea of me trying to break his grip, and Sven's a strong guy, so he's going to hold tight. I'm going to do my best to break it. Now I got it, he can get it right back in because I don't have much control over the wrist. Now imagine the same situation with a smaller officer. Smaller framed officer, try your best. It's not going to work. 2, good. Even if, go a second, even if he got it to here, he can pull this officer in. If it's a smaller framed officer, there's nothing they can do because they're using this grip. So instead, when we use the bolt cutter, this is going to work. Whether it's myself or a smaller framed officer, they're always going to get that chopping in, and they're always going to get to this. Second, once this is popped, I roll my other hand under, so I'm not trying to fight this anymore. As soon as I get this rolls under, and we're at the beginning where everybody understands. So watch, a smaller frame officer can do the same thing. They might have to lean back more, but once they get that double under, they can lean, and now they can drive. Keep going, keep bringing him out until he comes to here. Then I can come in where the shoulders are close, and you never have an officer going inside the car. Thank you. So I still believe that coming in here, taking the far one underneath is best, and if that one's still there, look what I'm doing. This one's under. If that one's still there, this just comes over. I have my bolt cutter right there, and I have the ability to square his shoulders so no officer is going inside the car, okay? The last thing I want to show is this. If this is a known suspect, if it's a felony arrest, and I need to get this person out quick, this is the fastest way I believe you can do this. I'm going to show you two, and I'm going to show you the one I like. This one works well. I'm doing the same thing. Boom, hit the seatbelt, I'm in here. Now from this position, I shift my hips, and I lock here. So you guys that do ISR, I'm doing the same thing, hitting the seatbelt. From this position, this arm comes in, this is a dive. This is my lock. Now I'm here, and I can pull him out entirely. Now, why I don't like that, if I'm in here, and I hit the seatbelt, and I'm here, I can't see his other arm. What I prefer you do is, I'm gonna do the same thing, click, and as I come out, I'm taking his thigh, right here. So I'm click, take his thigh, you can hold on all you want. I grab here, and I start pulling out. He's got no choice but to start exiting. I'm not gonna do this, because if I pull him out this way, gun, I don't know what's happening, okay? So I'm gonna pull this way. Try to get the suspect or subject where the shoulder's here. That way, no one's going deep into the car. Second, don't mess trying to use strength against strength, because smaller framed officers aren't gonna be able to keep up with you. Third, try to use your own body to lever instead of their body. Because once we do this live and his arm's doing this, and that elbow joint gets right in here while your officer turns, click. If I'm using my body, that's a non-issue. Lastly, this is what I kind of wanted you to see. This has been the evolution from day one, 22 years ago, and these are the techniques that we stay to uniformly no matter our size of the officer. Thank you.